The Indianapolis Colts did in fact lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars yesterday, but they lost 36-19. But that's not the biggest storyline. Daniel Jones has torn his Achilles tendon, and we're going to talk about it. Wow, that feels crazy to say out loud, but we're going to talk about it. But first, Daniel Jones is back up. He was definitely needed. I'm trying to get in a better mood because I got to be honest with you guys. This season's over. The Colts have had 12 starting quarterbacks since Andrew Luck retired. 2019, we had 2, Jacoby Brissett and Brian Hoyer. In 2020, we had Phillip Rivers. He took us to the playoffs. Shout out to Phillip. In 2021, the Carson Wentz experience happened. In 2022, we had 3 starting quarterbacks. Matt Ryan started 12 games. Sam Ehlinger started 3 games. And Nick Foles started 2 games. In 2023, we had 2 starting quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson started 4 games, and Gardner Minshew started 13. In 2024, Anthony Richardson started 11 games, and Joe Flacco started 6. But this year, we thought we had it figured out. 8 weeks into the season, if you had asked me, how are the Colts going to end the season, I would tell you at least in the playoffs. Right now, I'm telling you that the playoffs are a joke. If we make it to the playoffs, I will be nothing but surprised. If we win another game with Riley Leonard behind the center, I will be very surprised. 13 starting quarterbacks since we had a franchise one is the problem. Daniel Jones cannot help that he tore his Achilles. Do not get me wrong. And I know people are saying he should have been out there playing. You know, when you said that for Tyrese Halliburton, you had a little bit of a case to make because it was the same leg. This is a freak accident off of a different leg in the rain where he slipped. The season's over. There was no fight in the second half. There was no sense of urgency in the second half. They looked depleted. They looked like their leader had just tore his Achilles tendon, to be honest, because that's exactly what happened. Listen, Colts fans, as much as I want him to be, Riley Leonard is not the answer. He was drafted in the 6th round because he's a 6th round talent. Now, Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round. But I'm going to be so real with you. Tom Brady is a once-in-a-lifetime type of player. And as much as I want to believe in Riley Leonard that way, that's just unrealistic. That's not real. Riley Leonard, however, he can do some great things. We'll talk about all the stats and everything here in a second from the game. But Riley Leonard can do some great things. He can run the football well. He can even throw the football well. I don't know if anyone really watched him in the preseason, or I went to a preseason game and actually watched him, or maybe you watched him like in practice a little bit. I seen some clips and stuff. You know, he's throwing the ball downfield well. I follow a few different of these Colts insiders, and I see them posting clips online of, you know, Riley Leonard throwing the ball well downfield. But in a real game with real talent, with real playoff implications, we're playing the Seahawks and the Texans and the 49ers and the Jaguars. So, like, it's not like we're going to be playing preseason teams or practicing in the practice. So, will he be able to throw the ball downfield? I doubt it. He dink and dunked all night tonight. So, as much as I want to believe in Riley Leonard, and I'd love to stand here and tell you that Riley Leonard is the next answer. Riley Leonard isn't the answer at all. And I don't think Anthony Richardson's coming back, to be honest. Not this season, at least. Because the thing about Anthony Richardson is this is a whole... from my understanding, he had to have, reconstructive surgery. It's a whole situation. This is his eyesight, I heard one of the Colts insiders today, his name is Jake Arthur, say that if Anthony Richardson were to come back, he would be surprised. And I have to kind of agree. And, I don't know if it's the city, the state. I mean, it started with Caitlin Clark. Did she tear her Achilles? I don't know if she actually teared her Achilles, though. Actually tore her Achilles. Let's actually got to fact check this real quick. I don't want to give you no false information. I'm thinking it was her. Oh, it was her groin. My bad. Still yet, she gets injured. She's a star of the WNBA. It goes down. Our star in the NBA for the Pacers last year gets injured. Set game 7, quarter 1, I think, maybe quarter 2, 7 game of the finals. After one of our best seasons in a very long time for the Pacers. One of the Fever's best seasons, in a long time. Fever won a championship, I believe it was in 2012, but it's been a long time for them too. But then the Colts, Daniel Jones goes down in the first quarter with a tear on his Achilles tendon, and he's out for at least 9 months minimally. But a year to 2 years is what it takes to actually get back, from what I understand. Actually get back. In the current state of this team, honestly, in order to win any games, obviously we have to sign a backup, and the one we currently have is Anthony Richardson. And I just explained to you how I'm not quite certain whether or not he's even going to be able to play, from what I understand and hear. Now, will they hurry him back? Potentially. Is that a good idea? Probably not. Anthony Richardson, anyone who knows him have watched him play, knows that it's a roller coaster. It can be great. It can be really bad. So Anthony Richardson really isn't the answer. Riley Leonard certainly isn't. There's no really good free agents, and I don't think Anthony Richardson's going to be back, so kind of going to exclude him from the conversation here a little bit. But, it's Riley Leonard or nothing right now, and what are we going to do? Who are we going to do? Sign Ryan Tannehill? I guess we could. I've seen people saying that in my live chat, but I don't know. There's really no good free agents. Like I said the other day, or like I said a second ago, I heard the Colts, I heard Jake Arthur say that, there's probably not going to be any more AR for the year. Maybe, if anything, for the last game or two. But, moving on, try to move on just a little bit from this injury, although I will probably continue to go back and talk about it a couple times. Other than that, after the injury, we played terribly. Our defense sucked. They looked depleted out there. They looked like their leader had just been injured. Like I said, the whole team. The injury brought down the entire team. Morale was down. Will we finish 8-9 at this point? I don't know. Will we win another? Will we win another game? I have no idea. I doubt it. If Riley Leonard is our quarterback, my hopes are down a lot, and especially since morale is so down in my eyes. I mean, you got to finish 2-4 minimally to think about getting into the playoffs. And, I actually, what I wrote down in my notes here to talk about this, I wrote Colts playoff question mark, LOL, because it's probably a joke. I don't know if we win another game. We might sign a quarterback. I don't know. I'm honestly, like, if we, I was to the point where I was last year, where the last few games, I'm watching it and I'm thinking, there's a good chance I'm not finishing this game. There's a good chance at halftime I stop watching this game because we're down 2 touchdowns and we don't have a chance to come back, and our defense can't defend anybody, and we look like we did last year. Now we're back with another bad quarterback, another quarterback who can't figure it out, another defense who can't figure it out. We have a new defensive coordinator. We have our biggest defensive player out in DeForest Buckner. We can't seem to figure it out. None of the pieces are together. Our offensive play calling sucks. Shane Steichen can't seem to string together the right place. It's minus the first 8 weeks. And listen, I'm minusing the first 8 weeks from all this because what a great first 8 weeks it was. We will never forget that first 8 weeks. We won't. Colts fans will never forget being 7-1. It was beautiful. It gave us hope. But now here we are, right back where we started, where we ended last year, where we started hope this year. None of us having really any hope for this team at all. Ready to get our expectations blown. Colts come out on Sunday and blow my expectations. Riley Leonard throw 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. We're going to probably not win another game. We're going to lose out of the playoffs. And if the cycle's going to continue, we're probably going to give fucking Chris Ballard another shot. And then the whole goddamn fucking cycle continues. The whole just keeps on. And no one gets anywhere. And people cancel their season tickets. And all of that. Until you prove me otherwise, Colt, this is the way I feel. I'm not going. I had planned on going to a game. I'm not going. I'm not going to go watch Riley Leonard play. I watched Riley Leonard play in the preseason. I'm not going. It doesn't make any sense. I love the Colts, and I will probably watch them from home. And maybe I'm being a little doom and gloom, but God, there's no positives to take from this. After the injury, everyone was depleted. Riley Leonard didn't play bad. Riley Leonard did what he could do. I don't hate Riley Leonard. This is not a Riley Leonard hate campaign. I'm sorry if it sounds like that. But he's not the answer. He's a 6th round pick. If Riley Leonard comes out and proves me wrong, I will eat my words and thank him. But he's not going to. We have to think realistically here. I'm going to be so real with you. I have, last year, when we finished the season strong, a couple wins that pointed out, or to end it out, it was great. I'm like, wow, we really, this team cares. I don't feel like, through this game especially, they don't care. They definitely didn't care in this game. Maybe before, but now since their quarterback's out, I don't see him giving a fuck. I just don't. Wow. After 14 minutes, let's get into this game a little bit. Just gutted. You know what? I'm going to talk about a couple more things that I had saved that I wanted to talk about. And I got to go find them really quick. Give me just 2 seconds. Where do the Colts go from here? Again, it's going to be interesting because there's people who think that Riley Leonard could be the answer. He's not going to, I want him to be, but he's not going to be. And so people are going to say that. People are going to rally for that on the internet. And then when he gets a start and does anything good, who do we get at this point? Do we keep Daniel Jones? Do we sign Daniel Jones to an extension? No. My answer is no. You don't sign a guy with no Achilles to an extension. That might sound harsh, but we had to get a franchise quarterback. We just have to. There's nobody really good, and we're fucked away our next 2 draft picks for Sauce Gardner, which was a fine thing to do until yesterday at about 2 p.m. It was fine. But it's not fine anymore. We need a quarterback. Do we try to go get Shador? Do we get somebody else young? Like Will Howard? Do we try to get somebody else like that? I don't know who you get. But I know that we're probably pretty screwed, to be honest. Say this too. Daniel Jones is one tough son of a bitch. Ever since his injury to his leg, not to Achilles, but before that, I would agree that he's not been as himself. But he brought the Colts back, is exactly what it did. He was a brave NFL quarterback, and in this house, Daniel Jones is a hero. That's the end of story. I 100% agree. Daniel Jones did some amazing things for us this season. Will we ever see it again out of him? I don't know. But Daniel Jones won't forget this season. I can guarantee that. Daniel Jones gave it his all. Daniel Jones never quit. Daniel Jones battled through injury. Daniel Jones cared about this team. He cared about his teammates. He did everything he could to try to get us to win. He bled for this team. You've seen him banging his helmet on the ground repeatedly after his injury because he knew that his chances to win were essentially over. He knew that his chance to make a difference here in Indianapolis was probably pretty close to being over. The Colts are going to say about 1,000 times that, we hope he comes back and all this stuff. Maybe they don't. Hopefully they're honest. But I'm telling you guys, this guy is not going to be okay for another couple years at least. The Achilles takes a long time. Why do you think Tyrese Halliburton isn't playing, although he's dunking off one foot? It's because you're never really the same afterward. It is so awful. It was so awful to see Daniel Jones go down like that. All right. I need to talk about this game a little bit. The refs were terrible in this game. Let's see if I can move on from Daniel Jones. The refs were terrible in this game. There was a catch by Michael Pittman that was kind of fought with by that number 6. What was his name on the Jaguars? I forget. Something Junior. Anyway, it was 100% a catch. The ball goes to the offense, and Michael Pittman had his hands around it most of the time. And I want to say I want to say this too. The Colts, back up. The referees have been terrible for the last couple games. Like the one, I can't even remember half this game so well, but there was another call that I'm trying to think of right now that was really bad. For the last 3 weeks, they've just been really bad for the Colts. Honestly, man. I hate to get back on this, but I have to. Daniel Jones didn't deserve this. Incredible comeback and a great guy. And I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to Daniel Jones. It was a slip. It was a break of his most important tendon. And I told you I was gonna move on, and I am. But it honestly fucks with my head. When we have such a chance, you get so close, but yet you get so far away. And just like that, 3 weeks ago, we were the leaders of the AFC South and holding it down. Just like that, we're out of the playoffs. So, anyway, a couple other things to talk about. So this game, obviously the score was 36-19. The Jaguars really dominated this game. They gained 436 total yards and averaged 8.1 yards per pass attempt. On offense for Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence threw for 244 yards and 2 touchdowns. Travis Etienne also had a big day, rushing for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. For the Colts, JT had an all-right game. He also ran for 74 yards on 21 attempts and scored 1 rushing touchdown. Jacksonville's firing on all cylinders, to be honest with you. So Daniel Jones obviously went down in the first quarter before his exit with 5 of 7 for 60 yards, threw one interception but didn't have a touchdown. Obviously it's season ending. It'll be a while. It wasn't looking good at the time I put this. It's not looking good, but it's been confirmed now. The Colts lose their leader, and the entire dynamic of the season is ruined. But rookie backup Riley Leonard came in. He completed 18 for 29 passes for 145 yards. He threw an interception and had a rushing touchdown. But Leonard in the offense struggled to keep pace. The Jags forced defensive turnovers and even recorded a safety late in the game, which was a crazy play too. Meanwhile, the Colts' usually dynamic running game was muted, while Jones had 25 yards. The unit lacked explosive plays that had defined the early 2025 season. Obviously, we have a major quarterback dilemma now. I'd say more than likely the Texans will probably take the AFC South again, which is sad. We don't even have a quarterback now. It's kind of hard to understate what Jones' injury does to the Indy season. They come into Jacksonville thinking they can control the AFC South race, and now we're just scrambling. The spotlight really turns to Riley Leonard here. It's up to him. It's up to him to make the plays he can make, to do the things that he can do, control the things he can control, do what he's good at, and it's up to Shane Steichen to put him in position to do so. And it's also up to the defense. If we want to have any chance at even getting a sniff at the playoffs, Riley Leonard has to step up and play like he's literally never played before, especially in that NCAA playoff game or championship game I watched last year. Whoa. And the defense has to get better. No more of this just letting everyone throw the top off. What happened to the first bit of the season? Our backup to Riley now is going to be Brett Rippon, who's on the practice squad. I think we've already moved on to the 2026 season a little bit here, which is absolutely crazy to say. But next week we'll watch how the Colts respond with Riley in the center. Do they double down on the run game, go lighter on passing, and what's the fate of the QB room? All those things, we'll be discussing next week's or later in the week's podcast. Hopefully, some more things have been figured out. You can follow me on TikTok for all updates. I go live with my friend Kyle 2 times a week. Some more than that usually, but definitely 2 times a week. And we were live last night reacting to the whole injury, and it was a whole situation. So yeah, very briefly, let's go over my other teams that I like and follow that are also sucking majorly bad. The Pacers play the Kings today. They're 5-18 for the season. Also, the Kings suck, so we might actually win. And he lost big to Gonzaga, 94-59, really proving that we suck. Kentucky's terrible too. I mean, I suck that I got no good teams to talk about. But Kentucky can't seem to get it going either. Offensively, they get down, and all of a sudden, here they are, depleted too. But we'll win tomorrow night. We play NC Central. Put up tomorrow night at 7. We'll win that game pretty easily. Kentucky football is out for right now, so can't talk about that. But we did hire a new coach, which is cool. Talked about that in the other podcast. So, this sucks. This sucks a whole bunch. I hear people talking about firing Shane Steichen, firing Chris Ballard, and I'm for it at this point. I hate to say it, and that's the first time I think I've ever really admitted it, but at this point, wipe the slate clean. Get a whole new, but who's out there that's better? You got to find someone that's better, not somebody that's equivalent, somebody that's going to improve the team. you're going to have a proven winning head coach. You need a GM who's going to make moves when we need it. Up to this point, up until this year, Chris Ballard has not been any of that. And Shane Steichen can't seem to get enough pieces of the puzzle together to get that done either. I don't think he's incapable, but he can't get all of it together at the same place at the right time to, make it all work. And especially when your starting quarterback tears his Achilles, what are you going to do now? So I think a lot of us are, worried. But, at the end of the day, remember this. It's a horrible way for the season more than likely to end. It's a horrible way for Daniel Jones to end his season for sure. But Daniel Jones is way better than any of us expected. Daniel Jones was tough. He wasn't perfect, but we will never forget the effort he put in. And we'll never forget what this beginning of this season was. But thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry I had to be so doom and gloom. We'll be back, maybe hopefully a little more. Hopefully we do something. I don't know. Hopefully the Colts will give me some reason to have hope. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.